Liam had always trusted people easily. He believed in the good of human nature, in the idea that most people wanted to do the right thing. But lately, something had unsettled him. Small, almost imperceptible moments began to accumulate. A look, a word, a pattern that didn't sit right. He couldn't yet articulate why, but instinctively he felt the presence of something dark nearby. It started with subtle manipulation. A colleague at work, Claire, seemed endlessly helpful at first. She offered advice, shared information, and appeared genuinely invested in his success. But soon, Liam noticed that her help always had strings attached. Tasks she volunteered to assist with somehow led him into situations where he had to take responsibility for mistakes he hadn't made. Every suggestion had a hidden trap, every favor a weight. That was the first obvious sign. People with evil intentions often mask manipulation as kindness. Then came the constant undermining. Claire would casually dismiss Liam's ideas in meetings, framing them as impractical or naive, only to present the same concepts later as her own brilliance. Initially, he thought he was imagining it. He didn't want to see ill intent where perhaps there was none. But the pattern persisted. Evil often manifests in consistent attempts to erode confidence and reputation while remaining hidden enough to avoid confrontation. Liam also observed their enjoyment of others' misfortune. It wasn't overt cruelty, but a quiet, almost imperceptible pleasure when someone faced a setback. Claire would smirk at office mishaps or make light of mistakes, claiming it was just joking. But the frequency and subtlety revealed a darker character. People with malevolent intentions often take satisfaction in the discomfort or failure of others, even if cloaked in humor. Another red flag was the lack of accountability. Every mistake, every misstep was someone else's fault. They never admitted wrongdoing, and apologies were rare, insincere, or strategic. Liam recalled a project failure where Claire had been responsible for a crucial step. She blamed external factors, then shifted focus to how others could have prevented it. Evil often hides behind blame shifting and avoidance of responsibility, preying on others' sense of fairness. Liam noticed the gaslighting next. When he confronted small inconsistencies, she denied events or twisted facts until he doubted his memory. Conversations that once felt clear became murky, leaving him anxious and uncertain. Gaslighting is a classic hallmark of someone with harmful intentions. It undermines perception and creates dependency on the manipulator's version of reality. Controlling behavior followed subtly. She inserted herself into decisions, insisted on her opinions, and made him question his choices. At first, it seemed like advice, concern, or strong personality. But the pattern revealed coercion disguised as guidance. Evil often tries to dominate or dictate the choices of others, eroding autonomy while maintaining the illusion of friendship or mentorship. Then came the divisiveness. Claire subtly sowed discord among colleagues, pitting people against each other to create tension and insecurity. She would relay selective truths, highlight weaknesses, or imply mistrust. Observing the fallout, Liam realized that evil thrives on conflict, creating chaos to feel control and power over the environment. Another sign was charm masking malice. Outwardly, she was charismatic, witty, and engaging. Visitors and outsiders admired her confidence, kindness, and apparent competence. But Liam realized charm can be a weapon, a way to manipulate perception and conceal intentions. Evil people often rely on surface charm to disarm suspicion, hiding their true motives behind a polished exterior. Liam also noticed inconsistency in empathy. She could appear caring in one situation, offering comfort or understanding, then abruptly disregard or mock someone's feelings in another context. This selective empathy wasn't genuine concern, it was strategic manipulation. Evil often shows care only when it serves personal gain or maintains control. Finally, there was the instinctive discomfort that refused to be ignored. Even after analyzing every behavior, Liam still felt a persistent unease, a tension that didn't go away. Intuition is a subtle yet powerful indicator, sometimes more reliable than logic. Evil leaves an imprint on energy, a sense of weight, suspicion, and caution that no rational explanation can fully erase. The culmination of these signs forced Liam to face a hard truth. He could no longer ignore the patterns, rationalize behavior, or hope for change. The person beside him, charming, persuasive, and seemingly helpful, was harmful. The wisdom he gleaned was clear. Recognizing these 10 signs, manipulation, undermining, enjoyment of misfortune, avoidance of accountability, gaslighting, control, divisiveness, charm masking malice, selective empathy, and instinctive unease, was not about paranoia but survival. It wasn't easy to distance himself. Confrontation felt risky, and severing ties with someone so embedded in his life required courage. But Liam understood that self-preservation and peace demanded it. Over time, he set boundaries, minimized contact, and carefully observed his environment. Freed from the subtle toxicity, his mind became clear, and he regained energy and confidence. In the end, the experience left him wiser. Evil doesn't always appear as overt aggression or violence. It often hides behind smiles, words, and seemingly small behaviors. Recognizing it, trusting instinct, and taking decisive action are crucial. Liam learned that life is too precious to allow malevolent influence to fester, and that awareness and boundaries are the strongest shields against those who would seek to harm.